What if I told you that running a Black Friday sale is the fastest way to destroy your business? Not grow it, destroy it. That 50% discount you're planning, it's not a marketing strategy, it's a pricing death spiral. And by the end of this episode, you're either going to cancel your Black Friday sale or completely change how you run it. I was talking to a friend last month and we were talking about the upcoming Black Friday sales. She told me that last year she'd run a 50% off sale, doubled her usual number of buyers, and felt like she'd finally cracked the Black Friday code. But when she went to launch again in January this year at full price, her live launch results were very poor. And she wondered if it had something to do with her 50% discount offer from Black Friday. We both wondered if, by accident, she had trained her audience to wait for the discount. And now, almost a year later, she's wondering if it's even worth doing a Black Friday sale this year. And I have to say, I agree. You see, the problem with this is the short-term win becomes a long-term pricing problem. So today I'm going to break down exactly why discounting works so differently for us as course creators compared to traditional retail stores and online e-commerce business and even software businesses. And I'm going to give you 3 strategies you can use instead that won't tank your positioning or train your audience to never pay full price again. Black Friday is coming. I have got my shopping list ready. I don't know if you're like me, if you make a Black Friday list. On my list is a new laptop for sure. Old Trusty died on me this week, and so I'm ready to buy myself a beautiful new MacBook something. But let's talk about how Black Friday is going to unfold in our businesses, not for us as shoppers. Black Friday used to be just one day, and then it became a weekend, and now it's basically the entire month of November and then bleeding into half of December. And if you're a course creator, you're sitting there watching your inbox fill with discount codes and wondering, should I be doing this too? Am I leaving money on the table? But here's the thing. What works in e-commerce doesn't always translate to expertise-based businesses like us with our courses and coaching and consulting. And there's a really important reason why. Physical product businesses have inventory. They have stock sitting in a warehouse that costs them money every single day it sits there. For them, it actually makes financial sense to discount that product and move it out because storing it can cost more than that discount. They're trading margin for cash flow and for reduced storage cost. But you and me, we don't have warehouses because we don't sell fidget spinners. We don't have inventory costs because lipstick isn't how we make our money. Our courses don't expire and they don't take up physical space. They don't cost us more money the longer they sit there and don't move. So when we discount, we're not solving an inventory problem. We're just training our audience that our prices are negotiable. And what we need to be careful of is getting caught in this race to the bottom. Everyone's discounting because everyone else is discounting. And the long-term cost of that short-term thinking can be massive. Because every time you discount, you're not just making a sale, you're actually sending a signal about the value of what you've created. And if you're building a sustainable business, if you're building what I call a freedom empire, you need to think about what your pricing strategy is teaching your audience over the next 12 months, not just what it's going to be making you this week. So let's begin by talking about the hidden costs of discounting. Let's start by understanding what's really happening when you discount. Every discount is a data point that trains your audience. And I don't mean in some abstract woo woo way. I mean, literally, behaviorally, you are teaching people how to buy from you. When you run a 50% off Black Friday sale on your signature course, what you're teaching your audience is don't buy at full price. Wait, because she'll discount it eventually. And once that pattern is established, it's really hard to break. Now, here's what I want you to understand. There's a huge difference between value add bundling and straight discounting. And this is where most course creators get it wrong. Let me give you an example. I have a beautiful mentoring student named Stephanie, and she teaches birth preparation. She has a course called My Essential Birth, and she also has a postpartum course. Now, she could run a Black Friday sale and take 40% off of My Essential Birth. But instead, what she's doing this year is bundling both courses together at a special bundle rate. Think about the difference in positioning here. With the discount, the focus is on what you're taking away from the price. With the bundle, the focus is on what you're adding in terms of value. Same financial outcome for the buyer, potentially, but completely different message about value and worth. And you both walk away winners. Because now Stephanie isn't saying, my course isn't worth full price. She's saying, here's an opportunity to get even more value, to solve more of your problems, to get a more complete transformation. Students win because they get more. She wins because she's not devaluing her signature offer, and she's actually increasing her revenue per sale. So if you think about it, Black Friday, I want you to start thinking in terms of bundles and add-ons, not price cuts. So what could you add? What could you combine? What could you beg, borrow, and steal from a friend and add it in? How can you increase the value instead of decreasing the price, which is, to be honest, lazy marketing? Let me give you some math to show you how this pans out over the long term. Let's say your course is normally $9.97 and you discount it by 20% to $7.97. You need to increase your buyers to make the same amount of revenue. But here's what most people don't calculate. Those buyers you attracted at $7.97, they're a different buyer than the one who invests at $9.97. Discount buyers statistically have lower completion rates. They have higher refund rates, and they're less likely to take your next course or your next full price offer. So you're not just making the same revenue, you're actually building a lower quality customer base that's going to be harder to serve and harder to monetize over the long run. I want you to calculate that before you run a Black Friday promotion. Calculate what the actual 12-month impact is going to be. Not just the immediate revenue that you might be scraping in from these discount buyers, but what it actually means for your pricing, your power, and your positioning, and your audience's expectations of you moving forward. So, speaking of positioning, what does Black Friday do to your positioning? Let's talk about discounting and brand positioning, because here's the reality that in your audience's mind, you're either a premium solution or you're competing on price. You can't be both. And I call this the positioning paradox, the Black Friday positioning paradox, because we all think Black Friday is a quick way to make a few bucks, right? But when you discount, your audience starts to wonder, is this really worth the full price? Or was the price inflated to begin with? When you hold firm on your pricing, the message is, this must really be valuable. She's confident enough in the transformation that she doesn't need to drop the price to get me to buy. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. Salome, but everyone else is discounting. I'm going to look like I'm not participating. My other mentor said I have to do Black Friday. And here's what I want you to know. The buyers who wait for discounts are fundamentally different from the buyers who invest in full price. And I want you to put a flag in the ground and own your value. People who wait for discounts, discount waiters, tend to be less engaged. They don't complete your course. They complain and they're less likely to get results, which means you're less likely to get a testimonial. And they're way less likely to give you referrals and be a really good participant in your community. So yes, you might want to get more buyers with a discount. But are they really the buyers that you want? Are they really the buyers that's going to give you a rich life, like a value-driven life? That's going to keep your business well and truly healthily in the green? Or are they the ones who are going to do the work and get the results and tell everyone about you? That's where it gets interesting, you know? But there are absolutely ways to participate in Black Friday and maintain that premium positioning. And one of my favorite strategies is the strategic affiliate play. Instead of discounting your own offers, what if you stepped up as an affiliate for other courses, other software, other tools that complement what you teach? Think about what that does for your positioning. You're now the curator, the expert who's recommending the best resources for your audience. You're adding value, you're reinforcing your authority, and you're supporting other quality brands who are also not necessarily discounting. And your audience wins because they're getting recommendations from someone they trust during a time when everyone's overwhelmed with options. You maintain your brand authority. You don't devalue your work. And you can still participate in that Black Friday energy. So I want you to think about this. Who else serves your audience in a complementary way? What tools do you use that you would recommend? What courses would make your students more successful? That's a Black Friday strategy that builds your brand instead of undermine it. Now, you know this episode is part of our 12-episode series called Building Your Freedom Empire for 2026. And if you've been following along, you'll notice that all of these topics connect. Last week, we talked about your energy ROI and making sure you're not running yourself into the ground. And I shared some really crappy advice I got and how it really actually served me in the long run. And discounting, unfortunately, often comes from the same scarcity mindset that running on empty does. And it's that same fear-based decision-making. I don't want that for you. So coming up this Thursday, we're diving into episode 324, which is called Why Your 2025 Didn't Go As Planned and what it teaches you about 2026. And if you're feeling like this year didn't go the way you hoped, you're going to want to hear that one because we're going to turn those lessons into our strategic advantage for 2026. So make sure you're subscribed to the show so you don't miss an episode in this series. We're halfway through and the best is yet to come. Now, why are you really running a Black Friday sale? Have you stopped and asked yourself this? It's a tough question. If you're thinking about running a Black Friday sale, why? What is the reason? Because here's what I've noticed. Most course creators don't run Black Friday sales because it's part of their beginning of the year strategic business plan. They run them because everyone else is doing it, or because they're stressed about money at the end of the year, or because they feel like they should, because that's what everyone else is doing. And let me be honest with you. If you're making pricing decisions from a place of scarcity or fear or comparison, you're probably making the wrong decision. There are decisions you end up regretting 6 months from now when you're trying to launch at full price and nobody's buying and you can't understand why. So let's get clear on valid reasons versus reactive reasons. Valid reasons to run a Black Friday sale could be you're sunsetting an offer and you want to give your audience one last chance to grab it. You're testing price sensitivity with a small segment of your audience to gather data. You're rewarding existing customers as a thank you, not as an acquisition strategy. And here are some really invalid reasons to run a Black Friday sale. Number 1, everyone else is doing it. I mean, your mama's been telling you that since you were 11, hasn't she? Number 2, you're behind on your revenue goals for the year and you want to scrape something in before Christmas. Number 3, you saw someone else have a Black Friday and you want it too. Or number 4, you're afraid people won't buy unless you discount. Those are scarcity-based decisions, and they create scarcity-based results. Because when you discount from a place of desperation, your audience can feel it. And if it doesn't build the kind of business you want, it's going to drain you. So before you plan any Black Friday promotion, I want you to get really honest with yourself about why you're doing it. And if the answer is anything other than strategic, intentional, and aligned with your long-term business goals, don't do it. There are so many other ways to participate in Black Friday that don't require you to undermine your pricing. And that's what we're going to talk about next. So let's look at some alternative strategies for you. If you're not going to discount, what can you do? Let me give you 3 strategies that actually build your business instead of undermining it. Strategy number 1, enhanced value bundles. We already talked about Stephanie and how she's building her birth course with her, bundling her birth course and her postpartum course together to increase value. This is such a smart play. Your increased perceived value without damaging your price authority. You're solving more problems for your students. You're creating an offer that feels special and limited without screaming, my course isn't worth full price. So what could you bundle? Do you have multiple courses? Could you add a bonus coaching call? Could you throw in a template library or a resource pack? Think about what you could add that makes the offer more valuable without making your signature course cheaper. Strategy number 2, strategic affiliate partners. This is the one we just talked about, but I want to emphasize it again because it's so underutilized. During Black Friday, position yourself as the expert curator. Recommend the tools, recommend the courses, recommend the resources, the software systems your audience actually needs, that you love and that you know work. You maintain your premium positioning and you add value to your audience. And you can earn affiliate income without discounting your work. Strategy number 3. This is a bit of an oddball, but I'm going to say it. Just maintain consistency in your list building. Make that your Black Friday strategy. Now, I know that isn't a sexy Black Friday strategy, but it could be the most important one Do not stop your list building ads during November and December because ad costs might increase. Do I need to say it again for the people in the back? Do not stop your ads in November and December because ad costs increase. This is where most course creators shoot themselves in the foot. Because yes, CPMs are higher and cost per lead is higher. And during the holiday season, we are competing with more advertisers. But you know what matters more than a temporary increase in your ad cost? Consistency. The algorithm loves consistency. You're building an audience for your January, February, March launches. Those people who join your list in November and December, they're going to be warmed up and ready to buy at full price when you launch in January, February, March. So keep your list building ads running. Keep showing up. Keep providing value. And when everyone else is frantically discounting and then wondering why January is so slow, you're going to have a full pipeline of engaged leads ready to invest in your full price. And Black Friday is going to be a distant memory. All right, now I want to give you a few bonus strategies for how to navigate Black Friday week without discounting. First, you can use the waitlist pre-sale strategy. This is something I just used in Scale with Ads. Instead of dropping prices during Black Friday, create a waitlist for your next launch and give those waitlist signups the promise of a special bonus they'll get when you launch. So you're still promoting a lead magnet or a something that gets them on the waitlist, and you're saying to them, this is my Black Friday waitlist. If you buy when I launch in January, you're going to get a very special bonus. Tell them what it is. So you're creating urgency without devaluing your core offer. People get more value for acting now, but the price stays firm. The second one is email sequence psychology during Black Friday. Remember this, everyone's inbox is absolutely flooded with discount codes right now. So how do you stand out? You do the opposite. Send an email that says, here's why I'm not running a Black Friday sale. Be honest, be direct. Talk about your values, your commitment to your pricing, and what that means about the transformation you provide. I promise you that email will get opened, it'll get forwarded, and it'll attract exactly the right people for your business. The people who value transformation over transaction. Third, consider a complete Black Friday positioning play, an anti-Black Friday positioning play. This works especially well if you have a strong brand and you've been in business for a while. You're a leader and you can make a statement. Be the course creator who holds the line. Position yourself as the alternative to the discount chaos. Because there are buyers out there right now who are tired of the noise. They're tired of the hype and they're looking for someone who demonstrates confidence in their value. And guess what? Those are exactly the buyers you want. The ones who aren't looking for the cheapest option. They're looking for the right solution. And when you hold firm on your pricing, you signal that you are the right solution. So before we start wrapping up, I've got a short stop doing this list for you. These are all things that if you just stop doing this during Black Friday, you're already going to see better results. Stop running sales just because everyone else is doing it. You are not Target. Your expertise is not a commodity. You don't have to participate in the race to the bottom just because it's happening around you. Stop discounting your signature offer. If you run a sale more than once a year, it's not a special anymore. It's just your pricing strategy. And that trains your audience to wait. Stop using fake urgency. You know what I'm talking about. The countdown timer that just resets once it's run out. The 3 spots left when there's been 3 spots left for the last 3 months. Your audience is not stupid. and they will sniff out fake scarcity immediately. So don't treat them like they're dumb. It damages trust more than it creates sales. Stop making discount decisions when you're stressed about money. This is the big one. When you're in scarcity mindset, when you're panicking about hitting your revenue goal, that is not the time to be making pricing decisions. Plan your promotions when you're thinking strategically, not when you're thinking desperately. And finally, stop forgetting that discount buyers often need the most support. There's actually an inverse relationship between the size of the discount and the student success rates. The people who invest at full price, they're committed. They show up. They do the work. The people who are hunting for the cheapest option, they often need more hand-holding, more support, and they're less likely to get results. And you're not doing anyone a favor by attracting price-sensitive customers to transformation-based work. You're setting both of you up for frustration. So here's what I need you to remember. Your expertise has value. The transformation you provide has value. And the right people will invest in themselves at your full price because they understand that transformation isn't about the cheapest option. It's about the right solution. You're not building a discount brand. You're building a freedom empire. And that requires you to hold firm on your worth while your audience learns to hold firm on theirs. Before Black Friday hits, I want you to do one thing. Calculate what discounting would actually cost you over the next 12 months. Not just the immediate revenue, but the impact on your positioning and your pricing power and your audience quality and your mental health serving the discount students. And then decide if that's the business model you want to build. Remember, we're halfway through this 12-episode series on building your freedom empire for 2026. This Thursday, we're tackling why your 2025 didn't go as planned and what that teaches you about next year. So make sure you're subscribed to the show so you don't miss a single episode. Now, go build your freedom empire at full price. Talk to you on Thursday. Bye. Before you go, if today's episode helped you, imagine how many more lives could be transformed if other creators, coaches, and experts found these strategies too. Your shares and reviews help more course creators discover how to get their knowledge out into the world. Please take a moment to rate the show and leave a quick review. When you do, we get to reach more people and we make a bigger impact together. Because when more people who help people succeed, the world becomes a better place. Thank you.